All praises to the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everyone joining me on this program. This is a Fountain of Israel's Bible Studies program, and as always, it's an honor for me to stand before you on the Lord's holy Sabbath day. And welcome back. This is the second lesson to our Black History from the Bible, or Biblical Black History. And if you guys spent time and you actually, watched the first part, which I encourage you, if you have not watched the first part, because it's really visual, pictures and videos and things like that. And this one I'll have some videos, a little bit of videos, not as much as the first, but I'll have some there to kind of help, add gravity to the topic, okay, to go ahead and make things, come into focus. So there will be a few clips there. Now, this particular lesson is titled The Marriage, Divorce, and Remarriage of Israel. Now, the first lesson is the color and the curses, right? So that had to do with identity, right? Had to do who are the real Israelites? Who are these people that the book speaks of? It really just dealt with those two things, right? The identity and the curses. What marks these people today, so that you can help identify who they are today, at least beyond the shadow of a doubt. Now, some go into archaeology and they go into some sciences, like the blood haplogroups and things like that. So, it depends. We just want to present as much evidence as possible. And then again, it'll be beyond the shadow of a doubt. Now, obviously, we don't subscribe to any 12 tribes charts or anything like that, but we at least give you guys a reason to at least consider, to at least think about it. Now, to continue on, this particular lesson, as I said before, is the marriage, divorce, and remarriage of Israel. And that is their relationship with the Most High God. But before we get into that, I do want to show you some clips that's really going to drill down and show a couple of things as far as the destruction of the black family. In other words, the destruction of Israel. Okay, these curses are just thorough. It's been destroying us throughout the years in various ways, and then now we're talking about a family today. And when I say today, I'm talking about starting even from the 60s all the way up to present time right now, how we are affected. And guys, it's not always pretty. So let's take a look.
thing about you. Very tough, but he had to be. That you wanted the best for your family, and you decided right from the start you were going to be firm, tough where you had to be, disciplined, and do what it took to give them the lives that many of them have since enjoyed. How do you respond to that?
Well, I had to be like that way because during those times it was hard, and you had a lot of gangs there, you know, in the area where we were living.
This is Gary in Indiana.
Gary, Indiana, and I had to make sure that they didn't get in any type of trouble and things of that sort. My kids was brought up in a way so they respect people, and they never was on drugs. They never went to jail. They wasn't in no gangs or nothing. They were brought up professionally and was nice, yes.
You physically disciplined your kids. Do you think parents today are too soft on their children? Do you think there's a lack of respect because of that?
Yeah, they are too soft. One of the reasons I say that is because kids nowadays are killing their parents in some cases, and the parents say, let's get into this beating thing. There's no such thing as beating a kid. You whip them and punish them for something they did, and they will remember that. So they remember in such a way they wouldn't do it again. That's the way I was.
I didn't think he was too tough, but back in those days, everybody raised their children about the same. If you did something wrong, it was terribly wrong, you got a scolding for it, and you also got a licking, as they called it. But today you can't do that.
You know, in those days, kids was real bad, and the parents should have made sure, what I did, made sure that my kids was good kids.
Definitely took a toll on black male-female relationships, especially in the 1960s, because in the 1960s, black men and black women, they were doing what they were supposed to have done for a long time, which was fight together against white supremacy, against racism. And they were doing this with the civil rights movement. So what happened, people had to come in and infiltrate and have a divide and conquer strategy between black men and black women. In 1964, government came in and they pulled black women to the side, and they started to classify black women and women in general as minorities. In 1964, that's the first time they classified women as minorities. So they started to give them set-asides and benefits, and then they created the feminist movement, and a lot of sisters branched off into that, and that kind of created a rift because a lot of sisters stopped fighting for civil rights and they started to fight for women's rights, but women's rights weren't being jeopardized in the black community. Our first priority was racism, and we should have dealt with that first.
We wanted to be free. We didn't need any boundaries, need no man to tell us what to do. Well, we hadn't had no man to tell us what to do anyway. You couldn't tell us what to do in slavery, so we didn't really have no fight with you about that. That was the white woman's fight with her man, but we took it on. I want to be free. Ain't nobody gonna tell me what to do. And then women started having babies, what they call out of wedlock, and then that got to be okay too. Oh, it's all right. Once it got accepted by society, all of the rest of the people, then it was okay then to just have a baby. In fact, I don't even want him for nothing but to just have a baby. And then we started saying, oh, I'm gonna be the mother and the father. All kind of nonsense. And so what happened was that movement, and there never was a sisterhood in the women's liberation movement between the black woman and the white woman.
Because you have to understand, in the tactic of the art of war, when you want to destroy a stronger enemy, you have to get rid of the cultural perspective of authority. So what do? You have to destroy the man in the society. And that's exactly what they did. I talk about this in my book. You have to destroy the masculine principle, which is the head of the family. That's part of it. The other part is to get rid of the environment and the ways and means for the head or the authority of that family to become and stay the authority and the head of that family, and that is to be the provider and the protector. Take away his means of providing. Take away his means of protecting his family, and he no longer has any rights or any kind of power. So when you have done that, you have now undermined the glue that keeps a family together. Men don't have to be men anymore. So what's the best thing to do? Since you're giving so many favors to women, I might as well be a woman.
But Lewis, who has 4 children by 4 different men, looks at it like this.
At the end of the day, I know I'm not a baby mom. I'm really a mother and a father to my 4 children.
The show explores the challenges of being a single mom in the city, spotlighting 8 women. Each one has between 2 and 9 children.
Are we encouraging single parenting? No, we're not. But I just want to let them know that it can be done without a father.
I'm just a single mom with 12 minor children.
When we first met Angel Adams, she was living in a small motel room with 12 of her 15 children, ranging in age from 11 years to 6 months. And she was angry at the system.
Somebody needs to pay for all my children.
I'm driving down the street. The girl got some blue shorts on. Then I told her to get in the car. Then we gonna take a journey with
What do you knock at? The game knockout is like when people born it, like they try to see where their hands goes at, and whoever comes walking down the block or something, they just knock them out.
You just knock them out, you hit them with a blow, and you take their belongings.
Knockout is like when you just punch somebody and they go to sleep when you hit them.
You better back it up.
Yeah, bitch, we TDK. I used to say fuck JoJo damn near every day. Fuck JoJo, and today kill 39. Just say fuck Lil J. Catch Lil Reggie, 100 shots to the face. Fucking say GDK.
You a punk, bitch.
Hey, this is not right. I told you. You say, Lonnie.
So after watching that, you guys have to understand that there's an agenda out there now. Now again, it does start with the curses and things like that, but we are perpetuating it. We are actually perpetuating our own destruction. Okay, it's time. It really started, as you've seen in some of the clips. It really started back back in the 60s and things like that. Obviously, the black family was together. Okay, 80% of the time it was together. Okay, as a family, the man was in the home, took care of everything. Then as the government stepped in and start offering things, like these government subsidies, and you have your TANF and your EBTs and your Social Security and all those type of things. They have those. And then, the women, they get into the workforce and stuff like that. And then the Gentile females made their issues with their Gentile husband the same issues with the Israelite or the black females issues. And so instead of going for civil rights, as you guys saw, that now our sisters were fighting for women's rights. And now the poster child for feminism, okay, it's the black woman. She's pretty much the poster child for it now. That's it. And so now when we go through years and years and years and years of, you don't need a man, you don't want a man, you don't need a man, you can do everything by yourself, strong, independent, things like that. That does not engender family, right? That does not build family. That's not a traditional value where you will have a family, where the children have the benefit, the statistical benefits of a 2-parent home. Now, we're not going to get into arguments, whose fault, this, that. I'm just saying, what is happening right now, okay? What we are dealing with right now, okay? It's not time at this point, at this juncture, to point fingers and stuff like that, okay? Just understand the situation that we are in and how do we solve it. But speaking of family, speaking of marriages, speaking of, children, speaking of all these relationships, we got to understand that the Most High deals with us from a familial standpoint, right? He said, I'm a husband unto you, my family. He deals with us with, using terms like family and friend, and I'm a husband and bride and all. He uses all this family terms. And that gives us an idea of what type of relationship he wants from us. Right? So we are the bride of Yeshua, right? But let's go ahead and see. Let's look at this whole marriage, right? Well, first we're going to look at the marriage. And then what we're going to do is we'll get into the divorce. I'll show you when that happened. And then I will show you when the remarriage will happen. So we're going to get in that. First, let's go ahead and go into Deuteronomy 30. I'm over in Deuteronomy 30. Let's read the first 3 verses, if you will. Deuteronomy 30. It says, and it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curse, which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy God has driven thee, and shall return unto the Lord thy God, and shall obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations, whether the Lord thy God has scattered thee, where he has scattered thee, where he's put everybody, okay? So when we start turning these things around and we start turning back to Yah, he will start turning the family around. Okay, so that's what needs to be done, because he set this in place, right? But a lot of this is done so that you know what he says is real. A lot of this is done, okay, where you know where he says is real. Now, many of us, first generation, awakened Israelite, I understand that. But we got to understand the importance of family. When you have a family, mom and dad are in the house, dad is the patriarch, mom is in the house, and we have our order. We have the Most High, we have the Messiah, we have the man, we have the woman, we have the children. When we have that, you have strength, you have power. That is how nations are formed. One house at a time, one family. One house turns into one town, turns into one city, turns into multiple cities, turns into one station, a state, and then turns into a nation. That is how it is done, brothers and sisters. You break that down, you tear down the fabric of the family. You get the man out of the house, and then you have the woman dependent on the state, and just keep it like that. Now, who are the poster children for this, brothers and sisters? But if we turn unto the Most High Yah, then this thing can be turned around, among other things. Okay, verse 8. Let me drop down to verse 8. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. So if you do that, right, and you shall return to the voice of the Most High Yah. Start listening to that. Accept the roles that we're given. Men, accept your role as a man, as a leader, as a protector, as a provider, and do it with everything that is in you. Sisters, accept your role as a wife, okay? Accept that. Being his help meet, being his support system, being his nurturer. Yes, he needs nurturing too. You got to recharge that battery when he gets worn down. He's working, doing his thing. He gets worn down. He needs to come home. He needs to get recharged. And then, of course, you also nurture the children. If we just if we just embraced, if we understood our role, understood the importance of each role, embraced it, then you have strength in your family. We're going to keep going. Let's drop down verse 11. I'll read 11 through 14. 11 says this. For this commandment which I have commanded thee this day, it is not hidden from thee, neither is it far off. It is not in heaven, that thou shouldst say, who shall go up for us to heaven and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. Neither is it beyond the sea, that thou shouldst say, who shall go over the sea for us and bring it unto us, that we may hear it and do it. But the word is nigh, meaning near unto thee, in thy mouth and in thy heart, that thou mayest do it. So you already know. We know what we need to do. He was telling our ancestors right here. You know, it's close. I'm telling you right now what you need to do. You see, I'm telling you right now what you need to do. So I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, we have to come back to the Most High Yah. Because getting away from it, getting away from the covenant, getting away from Torah, getting away from it is why we're in the situation that we're in. That's the whole reason why we're in this situation right now. Right? Let's continue. All right. So we're going to go over to Romans. Let's go to Romans 10. I'm going to go to Romans 10. And let's take a look at this. Romans 10. And when I get there, I'm going to read the first 8 verses. Brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For I bear them record that they have a zeal of God, but not according to knowledge. For they, being ignorant of God's righteousness and going about to establish their own righteousness, have not submitted themselves unto the righteousness of God. Of course, it's what we've done over the years. What have we done? Right? So our scrolls, our scriptures were taken away from us centuries ago. And then it was repackaged, repurposed, and given back to us in English, in a language that we did not know, in English, and taught to us, right, through the slave masters. Okay? Slaves, obey your master, right? So taught to us through our slave masters. And then misinterpreted, mistranslated, and we can go into all the other stuff, guys, but just stay with me. And then given to us, and we go and we carry the torch. We carry the torch. Look at the Sunday churches now, right? Replete with a lot of black ministers saying the same thing that was taught to us, ancestors, taught to us. And then some of you guys come out of the Sunday church. Talk to us for years and years and years. It's the same stuff. Same stuff. Easy believism, name it, claim it. All the same stuff. Never telling you who you are. And never telling you to obey Yah. Never telling you to get back to obeying him. Never telling you that, look, the reason why you have such a hard time is because you broke the covenant. You had a covenant with him. You had an agreement. You had a contract in blood. And you said, through our ancestors, you said you would do it. And so the curse is just passed on through generation, through generation, through generation, so on and so forth. Let's keep going. Verse 4. For Christ is the end of the law for righteousness to everyone that believeth. I know. The Christian church told you right here. See, right here. You ain't got to do the law. That's it. You just look behind that word "in." It means that Christ is the aim or goal of the law. He's the goal. So now you come to the Messiah because he's the goal. Why? Because your Torah keeping and my Torah keeping was not good enough to get us saved. But a Mashiach can wipe the slate clean. He paid off the debt. That's why you have Passover and atonement. He paid off that debt because those things were to foreshadow what was to come. For Christ our Passover, right? So he was the words was foreshadowing what was to come. It's like when the Messiah says, if you believe Moses, you believe me. He wrote the scriptures, they speak of me. I'm paraphrasing. For Christ is the aim, Christ is the goal of the law for righteousness to everyone that believeth, that you believe. Verse 5. For Moses described the righteousness which is of the law, on stone, that the man which do those things shall live by them. Yes. But the righteousness which is of faith, because now we have to believe in the Messiah, speak it on this wise, say not in thy heart, who shall ascend into heaven, that is to bring Christ down from above, or who shall descend into the deep, right? And the other ones, they say cross the seas, stuff like that. So he's drawing parallels, right? And this one talking about going to the dead, that is to bring Christ up from the dead. But what say it? The word is nigh thee, even in thy mouth and in thy heart. That is the word of faith which we preach, right? So now he's turning Torah only into messianics, right? Not getting rid of the law. He's just saying, look, all this law keeping, you're probably going to come up short now that the Messiah has come, since he fulfilled this first feast day, as a Passover. Okay, he fulfilled this first feast, this feast day. So now that he has come and shed his blood, you may want to believe in that to get the debt clean. Okay. So that's what that means right there. So he was just saying, we got a zeal of God, then he goes to promote Moses, and we see, we kind of see some of the parallels right there, brothers and sisters. That's what it means. But we're going to go back. Okay. Let's go back to Deuteronomy 30 again. Want to look at something because he quoted it and all that, trying to run some parallels. And that's really how Paul was trying to convert people. He was trying to give them a little bit of Torah and then trying to give them some little messianic understanding. Okay, so Deuteronomy 30, and we're going to start at 15. Deuteronomy 30 and 15. And look what he says. He says, "See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil. In that I command thee this day to love the Lord thy God, to walk in his ways, to keep his commandments and his statutes and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply. And the Lord thy God shall bless thee in the land whither thou go to possess it." So he'll bless it in the land where you go to possess it. And it says, But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, but shall be drawn away and worship other gods and serve them." Look at what he says he's going to do in verse 18. "I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land, whether thou passest over the Jordan to possess it." Right here, we're going to go over here to 19. Look what he says right here. "I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live." We are thy seed, right? So he said, I'm going to record this. Okay, so now we got it right here in the book. But he said, I'm going to record, what he said, heaven and earth. I'm going to call heaven and earth, okay? Even nature, on all that is in it, as a recording that I told you, that I gave you an opportunity, Israel. I told you. You do this, you get blessed. You do that, you get cursed. You and your seed. These curses will be on you. You guys saw lesson 1. They will be on you throughout generations. Why is it that we can find examples of each of these curses? We can find examples of it happening to us. Way more than any other people group on the earth. Because some people say, trust me, some people say, oh, well, this group of people have been in slavery, and that group of people have been in slavery. This group of people was on the railroads and over that, and this group of people were picking tobacco. And yeah, I understand that. Okay, many lands, many countries, many nations were, conquering and stuff like that. But our captivities was a little unique in some aspects. I mean, a little unique. Human zoos was just us. Okay, now we can go down the line. We can do the human zoos. We can go, the Sarah Bartman story, which I showed you some pictures of that. You can go the gator bait. I showed you some of that. We were in the Roman Colosseums there. We got that. We were oppressed after oppressed after oppressed. Israel, our first captive, were people who looked like us, people in Egypt. So we were under that captivity. Then in Judges, we got our head beats in, and then we get rescued. We have a judge come and help us. We get our head beat in, and then and we're fighting people that look like us. Then we have the Syrians, then we have the Babylonians, and then we have the Medo-Persians, and then we have the Greeks, then we have the Romans, then we have right now, we have America, we have Central America. A lot of Afro-Mexican people are there. We have South America, where more slaves went over there, more than America itself. I don't want to forget anybody. Some of us are still in Africa, some of the Israelites. Still in Africa. Some of them are hiding out in Asia. Some of them are in Europe. They're all over the place. Some of them are over in Australia. They really are spread out. Israel really is spread out. Can you say that? By every other group out there, can you say that? I could keep going, but I digress. Let's get back into this particular lesson talking about the marriage, divorce, and remarriage of Israel. Okay, so let's go over here to 19. Like he said, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death. And so he was just saying, look, I gave you a choice, life and death. Okay, and we're talking about two deaths. We're talking about a life. We're talking about a life where you're living and just existing, or a life of abundance, and then later, life everlasting. Now, in the death, we're talking about you can have living death with suffering, turmoil, trials, tribulations, captivity, living death, and then your physical death, and then death everlasting. It's layers to it. As we say today, there's levels to it. I want you to understand that. It is levels to it. We're going to go to Exodus 19. I want you guys to look at something here. Okay, now we're going to get into the marriage proposal. So let's look at it in Exodus 19. Let's see. Exodus 19. Let's take a look. Okay. This is the marriage proposal of the Most High Yah when he proposed unto our ancestors. Okay. When he proposed unto Israel. Okay. In the 3rd month, when the children of Israel were gone forth out of the land of Egypt, the same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai. For they were departed from Rephidim and were come to the desert of Sinai and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Israel camped before the mount. And Moses went up unto God, and the Lord called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus say, thou shalt say to the house of Jacob, and tell the children of Israel, Ye have seen what I did unto the Egyptians, and how I bare you on eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Now, therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed, and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Okay, now remember, if you guys look at many nations today, right, and the people that are on top, you don't see black people on top as leaders in the nations. I'm talking about nation here. I'm talking prime ministers, presidents. I'm talking about stuff like that, right? I'm talking about leaders. Where and where those people are running the nation. Okay? Oh, well, what about Africa? They're Hamites. I'm talking about Shemites. I'm talking about black Americans. And South America and Central America. You guys know what I'm saying. I'm talking about Israelites. Where are Israelites ruling? Where? Ruling. I didn't say where are they existing. Where are they ruling? Where's their seat at the table? Are they above all nations, above all people? You guys know the answer to that. And in verse 6, because there we're peculiar in a different way. We're peculiar people. We're not a peculiar treasure right now, but we're peculiar people right now. Verse 6, and ye shall be unto me a kingdom of what? Priests, and a holy nation. And these are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel, which is what he wants us to be. And Moses came and called for the elders of the people, and laid before their faces all these words which the Lord commanded him. And all the people answered together, what? And said, all that the Lord has spoken, we will do. Understand that, brothers and sisters. And Moses returned the words of the people unto the Lord. And the Lord said unto Moses, Lo, I come unto thee in a thick cloud, that the people may hear when I speak with thee, and believe thee forever. And Moses told the words of the people unto the Lord. Okay? So you guys see here, we're talking about the proposal here, right? Now, first time he said, all that he says, we're going to do, right? So we're going to keep going. Verse 10. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go unto the people and sanctify them today and tomorrow, and let them wash their clothes, and be ready the 3rd day. For the 3rd day the Lord will come down in the sight of all the people upon Mount Sinai. Okay, you guys see that? Mount Sinai. So he said, I'm going to come down, you get ready. This is where the proposal's coming down. We're about to get married. Okay, this is what's happening. Okay, so let's go ahead and jump up to Exodus 24, 3 and 7. Exodus 24, 3 and 7. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord has said, we will do. Okay, I'm going to read that one more time. Okay, I'm going to read it one more time. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord has said, we will do. Okay, you heard that? Accepting the terms of the agreement. This is the covenant, right? They are accepting the terms of the agreement. Let's go to verse 7. 7 says this, and he took the book of the covenant and read in the audience of the people. And what did they say? And they said, all that the Lord has said, we will do, and be obedient. Are we getting this, brothers and sisters? Okay. They're accepting the terms of the agreement. Okay. So I know some people just like, oh, you listen to the curses and all that other stuff. You wonder, but man, no, this seems harsh. This seems bad. I'm glad you're over here, because they accepted the terms of the proposal. Remember what we just read earlier, I'm setting all this before you, life and death, blessings and curses. Choose life. Because I always say, the good news about the Lord, about the Most High Yah, is that he keeps his word. He keeps his word. Hallelujah. The bad news about the Most High Yah is that he keeps his word. Blessings or cursing. We got to remember that. So we can't really be mad at the Most High Yah when we, or our ancestors, are the buttermuffins who don't want to listen, who accepted the terms of the agreement. You heard me read it a couple of times. And they said, we will be obedient. We got this. We got it. And we all know what happened. Okay? We all know what happened. But let's say, okay, but why he do this? Let's see. Let's get into why. Why us? Why us? Okay? So let's take a look. Deuteronomy 7, if you will. Deuteronomy chapter 7. At least let's get that, because I want to give you guys as many answers as possible, as I possibly can, in a time allowed. Okay, so 7 and 7. Okay, 7 and 7. We're going to read 3 verses. 7 says this: the Lord did not set his love upon you, talking about Israel, nor choose you, because you were more in number than any people, for you were the fewest of all people. They were a very small nation. Started with just 12 sons, right? Well, what am I doing with 4 fingers? Started with just 12 sons, right? And he said, but because the Lord loves you, and because he would keep the oath which he has sworn unto your fathers, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, to your fathers, has the Lord brought you out with a mighty hand and redeemed you out of the house of bondage, Egypt, house of bondage, okay? Out of the house of bondage, from the hand of Pharaoh, king of Egypt, right? Know, therefore, that the Lord thy God, he is God, the faithful God, which keepeth covenant and mercy with them that love him, and what? Keep his commandments to 1,000 generations. Here we go. We're still in that 1,000 generations. You're not that many generations removed to get all the way back to those times. Guys, you don't have to go back that many generations, and you're at 100 years ago, right? You go back to the birth of, say, some of you, not all of you, some of you millennials, probably not like that, but some of the rest of you Gen Xers and stuff, you go back to your parents, that'll get you into 60s and 50s and 40s. You go back to your grandparents, that gets you into the 30s and 20s, and some of you early 1900s, and then you go to your great-grandparents, now you're talking about, 1890 something. Then a great, you go back another. See, I could do on average, 20, 30 years. And you go back, boom, every generation, you go back 20, 30 years. Right? Because they have children, around between 20 and 30 years old, they'll have a child, and you guys get the point. All right? It's not a locked in number, but it don't take us that long to go back to 1,000. That was like 6, and I'm already in the 1900s. I mean 1800s, sorry. I mean, I'm already in the 1800s and I went back like 6 times. That's it. Six out of 1,000. He keeps his word. He keeps his word, brothers and sisters. He will keep that word. And what he says, okay, from 1,000 generations and now, let's read 10. He said, and repay them that hate him to their face to destroy them. And man, he was doing a marvelous job of that. He will not be slack to him that hated him. He will repay him to his face. Boy, some of our ancestors died some horrific deaths. Many of the slaves jumped ship because they rather die at sea. Everything has happened to us. Been torn apart by bears and lions and stuff, right? Fought in the Roman Colosseums with inadequate weaponry. Done all of that, brothers and sisters. Been in human zoos, been the animals ourselves. Many of our corpses are in the bottom of the sea somewhere, digested in some shark's intestine somewhere. Centuries ago. Tarred, feathered, drawn, quartered, experimented on. Let's keep it pushing. We're going to go to Deuteronomy. Let's go to chapter 10. Stay in Deuteronomy, but let's go to chapter 10. Let's look at this agreement a little bit more. 10, I want to start at verse 12. We'll go 12 to 16. 12 says this, and now, Israel, what doth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his what ways, and to what? Love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul. What does he say in 13? To keep the commandments of the Lord and his statute, which I command thee this day for thy good. What else? Behold, the heaven and the heavens of heavens is the Lord's thy God, the earth also with all that therein is. Only the God has delight in the fathers to love them, and he chose their seed after them, even you above all people as it is this day. He chose you above all people as it is this day. He chose us. You've been chosen. So it's time for you to wake up, Jacob. Wake up out of your sleep. The story isn't just slavery and suffering. It's not just that. It is responsibility. It is bloodline. It is inheritance. It is sonship. You and I were bought with a price. As far as your ancestors, don't make their suffering in vain. Act like you have some sense, you have some knowledge of self. Wake up. "16. Circumcise therefore the foreskin of your heart, and be no more stiff-necked." Hallelujah. Let some of this sink in. Understand who you are and where your place is in the grand scheme of things. You're somebody important. You come from an important bloodline. You have an important job. We're supposed to be a nation of kings and priests. Let's act like it. Now, I don't mean it's time for us to overthrow. There's no time for that. No. We just got to get in position. That's it. You got to overthrow anything. You got to overthrow anything. You just get in position. Act as though you know who you are. Get into the agreement, right? We got into the agreement. Right? So we had the agreement. All that the Lord has said, we will do. All that he said, we will do, right? Let's go over here to Exodus 32. Exodus 32. Now, when I get to 32, I'm going to read the first 10 verses. Actually, I'm going to read the first 14 verses, but Exodus 32. "And when the people saw that Moses delayed to come down out of the mount, The people gathered themselves together unto Aaron and said unto him, Up, make us gods, which shall go before us. For as for this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, we wot not what is become of him. Like, we don't know what happened to him. He'd been gone a long time, right? 2. And Aaron said unto them, Break off the golden earrings which are in the ears of your wives, of your sons, and of your daughters, and bring them unto me. Okay? And all the people brake off the golden earrings which were in their ears, and brought them unto Aaron. And he received them at their hand, and fashioned it with a graven tool, and after he had made it a molten calf. And they said, These be the gods, O Israel, which brought thee out of the land of Egypt. Interesting. See, they fresh out of the land of Egypt, right? They saw, remember, these are the same people who saw all these miracles. They saw the plagues over in Egypt because that's what they escaped from. They saw the Red Sea swallow up Pharaoh and his people. They saw all these things, okay? Fire by night, cloud in the daytime, all that stuff. Fed in the wilderness. These guys seen these types of things, right? Some of them they're about to. Where are we in Exodus? Yeah, some of them about to, but they seen these things. Okay, in 33. So all of a sudden, as soon as they get the commitment and give the commitment, talking about all that y'all said we will do. I'm in 32, right? And I read all that in Exodus 19 and in 24. All that you said we will do. We're gonna follow you. We're gonna obey you. You're gonna be our husband, y'all. You're gonna be our husband. We'll be a dutiful bride, y'all. We'll be a dutiful bride. First chance they get. What they saying for it? These be thy gods, O Israel, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. Verse 5. And when Aaron saw this, he built an altar before it, and Aaron made proclamation and said, Tomorrow is a feast unto the Lord. Okay? Now, again, Aaron, he's very inexperienced as being a priest and a leader. And he's probably under a whole lot of pressure because there's a lot of men in there too. And it's just Aaron. His brother is up on top of a mountain somewhere, and he's been gone a while, and he don't know what happened to him. So they say, look, do this. You know, you're supposed to be a priest, then you do this. And of course, he succumbed to the pressure, right? And they rose up early, verse 6, and they rose up on early in the morning, offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and to drink and rose up to play. So they're dancing, having a good time. And the Lord said unto Moses, Go, get thee down, for thy people which thou broughtest out of the land of Egypt have corrupted themselves. They have turned aside quickly. They went the other way. Out of the way which I commanded thee. Okay, again, this is why this is called the way, right? Okay, not a religion, but this lifestyle is called the way, right? They quickly turn themselves out of the way which I command thee. They have made them a molten calf, and have worshipped it, and have sacrificed thereunto, and said, These be thy gods. I'm sorry, I can't help but shake my head. O Israel, which have brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And they said in verse 9, it said, And the Lord said unto Moses, I have seen this people, and behold, it is a stiff-necked people. Whoo, this is bad, guys. Now therefore let me alone, that I may that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. So I'm gonna start this whole nation over from you, Moses. From you. It's interesting that he said he would wipe all of Israel out, except Moses, and start the nation all over again, right? And there's no other Israelite. If he had done that, there'd be no other Israelite nations. But, you know, that's a discussion for another time. And he said in verse 10, Now, therefore, let me alone, that my wrath may wax hot against them, and that I may consume them, and I will make of thee a great nation. And Moses besought the Lord his God and said, Lord, why doth thy wrath wax hot against thy people, which thou hast brought forth out of the land of Egypt with great power and with a mighty hand, right? And with a mighty hand. So he said, why would you do that? Don't do that. Please don't do that, right? So he's petitioning for the people. He's petitioning for the people. Please don't do that. You know. Then of course, if you continue reading, he's saying because the Egyptians will have occasion to talk trash. They would say that you just brought them out just to kill them. I mean, what was the point of that, right? So I don't know, man. I would not say bad things about about Moses. And I only say that because there's some people who kind of take liberties with Moses and stuff like that, but he did something that most people just would not do, right? You know, some people be like, oh, well, start with me. A nation will start over with me. Oh, yeah, that sounds like a cool deal. Nah. So, Moses stand in the gap. Most High chose wisely when he chose Moses. All right, so Jeremiah 8. Let's look at Jeremiah chapter 8. And when I get to Jeremiah chapter 8, I'm going to start at verse 3. Okay? We're going to go start at 3. We'll jump around in a little bit. Verse 3, it says this. And death shall be chosen rather than life. That's what we did. By all the residue of them that remain of this evil family, which remain in all the places whither I have driven them, said the Lord of hosts. Moreover, thou shalt say unto them, thus says the Lord, shall they fall and not rise? Shall he turn away and not return? Why then is this people of Jerusalem slidden back by perpetual backsliding? They hold fast deceit. They refuse to return. They refuse to listen. I'm going to tell you guys something right now. I'm not talking about the guys who've been in this truth for a while. I'm talking about the new people who are just getting in at this point, right? You're going to get a lot of pushback. Let me just warn you, okay? If anybody has gotten some pushback when you're trying to tell them and open their eyes, please put it in the comment section down below. Because I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a lot of butter muffins out there who are going to be like, no, what are you talking about? We ain't got to do that. What do you mean you're going to put us back under the law? What do you mean, you know, Jesus paid it all? You know, that's just what they're going to say. You are going to get a lot of pushback, which is why you're going to see firsthand what the Most High already know. It's a stiff-necked, rebellious people. Hard-headed, hard-hearted. That's why he says, therefore circumcise the foreskin of your heart. There's a reason why he said that. Because these people will not listen. It is hard. I feel for the prophets of the past. You know, dealing with Israel sometime, unfortunately, I'm sorry, it's like herding cats. It's hard. It is hard trying to get everybody in line, trying to get everybody on the same page. Good luck, okay? Get good luck with that, okay? So anyone who can do it, hey, more power to them. Yah bless them, okay? So Jeremiah, let's see if we did 5. Okay, we did 5. We're going to jump down. Let's read 10 and 11. 10 says, therefore will I give their wives unto others. Had that happened to us? Our wives go to someone else? Okay, give their wives unto others, and their fields to them that shall inherit it. For every one from the least even unto the greatest is given to covetousness. From the prophet even unto the priest, everyone dealeth falsely. Okay, talking about Israel. For they have healed the heart of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, and then there is no peace. We placate, we coddle each other when we can't, like right now, we can't even say anything. We cannot even correct each other. We can't correct our women. We can't do that. Because remember, in this society, now again, I like to differentiate before someone gets triggered. I like to differentiate, right? There are traditional women. There are traditional daughters of Zion, holy, good women. I'm not talking about them. And then there's some other women, okay? There's some other women. They're modern, okay? So today, everything is accepted. Everything's accepted, right? Everything they say. No 304 shaming, no body shaming. Don't say nothing about that. Being a single mother, that's not an issue. You know, that's cool. Accept that. We can't do no correction. You can't correct nothing. Stiff-necked, hard-hearted, telling everybody, comforted them, healed the hurt of the daughter of my people slightly, saying, peace, peace, when there is no peace. Oh, everything's cool. Everything's fine. Don't worry about it. It's cool. But it's not. But it's cool. Don't worry about it. Okay, let's drop to 15. 15 says, we looked for peace, but no good came, and for a time of health, and behold, trouble. Yeah. Let's go to 20. To 20, and we'll read to 22. 20. The harvest is past, the summer is ended, and we are not saved. For the hurt of the daughter of my people, I am hurt. I am black. Astonishment has taken hold on me. Is there no balm in Gilead? Is there no physician there? Why then is not the health of the daughter of my people recovered, right? We're still sick. We're still languishing. Okay, another identifier mark, I am black, okay, but we're still languishing. Still. Because not enough of us has actually turned to the Most High Yah. Not everyone will be saved. It's unfortunate. That's just how it is. Not everyone's going to make it. Somebody's got to go to hellfire. It doesn't have to be you, but somebody's going. Not everyone's going to listen. Not everyone's going to listen. So some of his bride, it's just not going to happen. What do? That the whole divorce thing. So what we're getting into is we're seeing how they broke the agreement. Our ancestors, they broke the agreement. We still continue to break it today, but we broke the agreement, and how he's just like, you know what? I can't deal with it. I have to give you a divorce. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in just a second. Watch this. We're gonna go over to let's see, Hosea. Okay, we're gonna look at this spiritual death here. How Israel died spiritually. Right here, Hosea 13. Hosea 13. And when we get to Hosea 13, we're just gonna read the first two verses. It says this: when Ephraim spake trembling, he exalted himself in Israel. But when he offended in Baal, he died. Okay, spiritual death. And now they sin more and more, and have made them molten images of their silver and idols according to their own understanding. All of it the work of the craftsmen. They say unto them, let the men that sacrifice kiss the calves. Okay, this is the worship. This is us worshiping other gods. Therefore, they shall be as the morning cloud and as the early dew that passes away, and as the chaff that is driven with the whirlwind out of the floor, and as the smoke out of the chimney. Like, we're just going to be blown away. I'm a whole lot. Like as if you never existed, blown away in the dust. In other words, your name's not written in a Lamb's Book of Life. You're just forgotten, like you just never existed. You didn't matter. That stings. It's like you just didn't matter. Brothers and sisters, this is big. It turns to Sunday worship, worshiping idols. Got crosses everywhere and little Jesus fish and all that, and and doing the the Easter bunny, they do all kinds of stuff, just worshiping just everything. And besides that, you don't even have to be Christianity nor Catholicism. Israel is in all these other religions, all of them, making stuff up, finding all these other religions. But what can we say? There are people spiritually dead walking around. Let's go to Proverbs 21. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. Proverbs. Let's go to 21. And when we get 21, I'm just going to read 16. 21:16 says this: the man that wandereth out of the way of understanding shall remain in the congregation of the dead. The spiritually dead. Dead man walking. Period. Dead man walking. That's what this is about right here. Okay, now watch this. Over in Isaiah, what else we got? And when we get to Isaiah, we're going to go 65. Let's see. Isaiah. '65. I'm just going to read a couple of verses. It'll be 65. We'll start at verse 2. Verse 2, it says this: I have spread out my hands all day unto a rebellious people, which walk in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts. A people that provoke me to my faith, provoke me to anger continually to my faith, that sacrifice in gardens and burn incense upon altars of brick. Okay, let's see. Let's see what else they do. Which remain among the graves and lodge in the monuments. Okay, they remain among the graves. Okay, the walking dead, and lodge in monuments and big mega churches, if you will. Which do what? Eat swine's flesh. Okay, They got the ribs, they got the bacon, they got eat swine's flesh. Okay, all of that, right? And what did he say? And the broth of abominable things in their vessels. Sounds like gumbo to me, right? The broth of abomination. Crab, shrimp, pork sausage, all in a soup, all in this gumbo filet, all in a roux. You guys know. I'm just saying. Things in their vessels, right? Which say, stand by thyself. Come not near unto me, for I am holier than thou, right? I'm a Christian. I'm a good Christian. These are smoke in my nose, a fire that burneth all day. No, I'm Catholic. What are you talking about? We can do that. What are you talking about? We can sell this catfish dinner. That's cool. You guys tell me. I mean, there's a mother church, and it is the mother of harlots as well. And we're doing all these things. I'm sorry, have you not seen these things in church? Have you not seen this among people who claim to be holy? What have you seen? If you experience any of this, please comment down below. Comment down below. Give me a 100 if you've seen these things. If this sounds all too familiar. Okay? So we're in Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 50. Okay? Let's go to Isaiah 50. We got to look at something here. We got to look at something. This is why the divorce is coming. Okay? You see all the things that Israel has done throughout the centuries. This is why the divorce had to come. Okay? So we're in Isaiah 50. Let me just read verse 1. It says, Thus says the Lord, where is the bill of your mother's divorcement, whom I have put away? He's looking for it. Or which of my creditors is it to whom I have sold you? Behold, for your iniquities have ye sold yourselves, and for your transgressions is your mother put away. Talking about Israel. I'm done. I'm done. Too much cheating on me. Too much spiritual adultery. Too much of that. That's the most high. Okay, I'm done. I can't do this no more. All right. He washed his hands, right? Now watch this. Let's go back to Hosea. I want to show you something real quick. Watch this. That's why I said this is a marriage. Hosea. When we go to Hosea, we're going to go to verse 2. Well, chapter 2. Chapter 2, verse 2. Read 2 through 7. Now watch this. 2, it says, plead with your mother. Plead, for she is not my wife. You get that? She is not my wife. Neither am I her husband. Let her therefore put away her whoredoms out of her sight and her adulteries from between her breasts, lest I strip her naked and set her as in the day that she was born, and make her as a wilderness, and set her like a dry land, and slay her with thirst. She better change, or I'm gonna have to do some very, very bad things. Is what he's saying. I'm gonna have to do some real bad things to her if she don't change her ways, right? Okay. And 4, and I will not have mercy upon her children, for they be the children of whoredoms. Oh, so wait a minute. Wait a minute. So are you telling me if you have a mother church, okay? You have a mother church. This church birthed other churches, which is the mother of harlots, right? And then you can bring that all the way down to our family. So if your mother, if your big mama, great grandma, somebody taught you paganism, idolatry, and all that, and then they passed the tradition down too because they're the children of these whoredoms, of this paganism, of this idolatry. Are we not passing down the issue, perpetuating the curses? Because we just keep doing it, and then we teach our children to do the same. Brothers and sisters, I'm sorry. Did our children come out of the womb saying, hey, let me get a pork chop, bacon wrapped shrimp, and all that? Did they say, hey, you know what? I got an epiphany. We need to be doing this Christmas and Easter thing. Our children, or were they taught? Were our children born with that proclivity? Or were they taught these things? So they be the children of what the scriptures say, these whoredoms, right? We all were. We all taught all this, right? What is this? It says, for their mother has played the harlot, worshiping other gods. She that conceived them had done shamefully. For she said, I will go after my lovers. I'm going to do my own thing. That give me my bread and my water, my wool and my flax, my oil and my drink. Therefore, behold, I will hedge up thy way with thorns and make a wall that she shall not find her path. Oh, you're going to be lost. I'm gonna make sure you're going to have to stew in it for a while. You're going to have to deal with this. This is what he's saying to Israel. You're going to have to deal with this for a while. I'm going to give you the error of your ways. I'm going to let you have it. Right? And then we have verse 7. And she shall follow after her lovers, but she shall not overtake them. And she shall seek them, but shall not find them. Then shall she say, I will go after and return to my first husband, for then was it better with me than now. What? Brothers and sisters, come on. Come on. It was better before. I should go back to my God. Yeah, I know. Yeah. If you suffering from, you suffering from these curses, then yeah. Going back to the Most High Yah, it's better for you. It's a better deal. It's a better deal. You get what you get out of this life, but if you get your act together, then the next life can be so much better. You better punch your ticket and get on. Get on the list. Hallelujah. We got to get this right. Let's go on over to Jeremiah, if you will. Jeremiah chapter 3. Jeremiah chapter 3. I'm going to read the first 8 verses and then we'll skip around a little bit. They say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not the land be greatly polluted? But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, says the Lord. See? Marriage, divorce, remarriage. He said, okay, come back. Okay? Lift up thy eyes unto the high places and see where thou hast not been lain with. In the ways hast thou sat for them as the Arabian in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness. Therefore the showers have been withholden, and there has been no latter rain. And thou hast a whore's forehead, thou refusest to be ashamed. Like, I don't... You know, I can draw a lot of parallels to what's going on today, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to refrain because I don't want to digress. Just know that I can draw some parallels, but let's get back. Let's get back to it. Wilt thou not from this time cry unto me, my father, thou art the guide of my youth? Will he reserve his anger forever? Will he keep it to the end? Behold, thou hast spoken and done evil things as thou couldst. Right? The Lord said also unto me in the days of Josiah the king, hast thou seen that which backsliding Israel has done? She is gone up upon every high mountain and under every green tree, and there she played the harlot. She has done everything. We have gone, pause the note. We've gone to every other religion, pretty much. Pretty much. All the major religions, you're going to have Israel in there somewhere. You're going to find Israel in there somewhere. Some Israelite somewhere is practicing that, right? Now, they may not know they're Israel, but you get my point. It's in there. Under every high mountain, under every green tree, everything. Okay? They do everything. Okay? And verse 7. And I said after she had done all these things, turn thou unto me, but she returneth not. And her treacherous sister Judah saw it, okay? And I saw for all the causes whereby backsliding Israel committed adultery, that what? I had put her away and given her a bill of divorce. Yet her treacherous sister Judah feared not, but went and played the harlot also. This, of course, when the kingdom was split, but he's still talking about both of his wives, right? Okay, Israel and Judah. But the kingdom had split at the time, okay? So I don't want to lose you with that, okay? So let's drop to 11. And the Lord said unto me, the backsliding Israel has justified herself more than treacherous Judah. So now Judah's treacherous too. More than treacherous Judah. All right? And it says, go and proclaim these words toward the north and say, return thou backsliding Israel, said the Lord, and I will not cause my anger to fall upon you. For I am merciful, said the Lord, and I will not keep anger forever. Okay? Only acknowledge thy iniquity. Only acknowledge thine iniquity. Only acknowledge your sin, that thou hast transgressed against the Lord thy God, and hast scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and you have not obeyed my voice, said the Lord. What did he say in 14? Turn, O backsliding children, said the Lord, for I am what? Married unto you, and I will take you one from a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion. He's trying to tell you. Pause to note. Verse 14, he said, for I am married unto you, okay? It's a husband, okay? I'm married unto you, and I will take you one from a city and two of a family, and I will bring you to Zion, okay, to the land that is promised unto you. But one from a city, two from a family means not everyone's going to make it. Not everybody. He's going to pluck you out, just one person in the whole city, maybe two people out of a whole family, because not everyone's going to listen. Some of you guys have already experienced that. Is that not true? Comment down below. That has already happened to a lot of you. We're going to go down to verse 20. We're going to do 20 to 25. 20 says this, surely as a wife treacherously departed from her husband, what is happening right now? No fault divorce. No fault divorce. So have ye dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, said the Lord. Pause the note. What is the divorce rate now in America? Over 50%, correct? And who initiates a divorce first? Do your research. I'll give you the answer, but do your research. 70 to 80% of the time, a divorce is initiated by the woman. Okay? No, that's not to throw stones or anything like that. I'm drawing a parallel here, right? Israel, okay, is likened unto a female, right? Is likened unto a female, the bride, okay, the bride of Christ. And then you look here, and the same thing. What I'm saying is that he always uses earthly things, so that we can understand the heavenly of what's going on. Most of Israel have voluntarily gave up their first love, gave up their husband when nothing was wrong. It perceived wrong. He takes a little bit too long to grant these wishes. He not paying any attention to me or whatever. He's not like he used to be. What? I mean, there's no romance anymore. Okay, I'm talking about Israel, right? For whatever reason, they give up on their God. They had their God. Let the other people have their God. You had one, but no. You wanted to find another God. This other God will let me do this. Oh, this God over there will let me do that. And so you gave up your God, Israel. Let's keep it going. Okay? Let's keep it going. All right? In 21, a voice was heard upon the high places, weeping and supplication of the children of Israel, for they have perverted their way, okay? And they have forgotten the Lord their God. Return ye backsliding children, and I will heal your backsliding. Behold, we come unto thee, for thou art the Lord our God. Okay? Truly in vain is salvation hoped for from the hills and from the multitude of mountains. Truly in the Lord our God is the salvation of Israel. Hallelujah. For the shame has devoured the labor of our fathers from our youth, their flocks and their herds, their sons and their daughters. Okay? He's given everything. We lie down in our shame and our confusion covering us, for we have sinned against the Lord our God, we and our fathers from our youth even unto this day, and have not obeyed the voice of the Lord our God. Are we starting to get it? Is it starting to sink in for us, brothers and sisters? Is it starting to sink in a little bit? Let's keep it moving. We're going to come back to Jeremiah here in a second. But before we do, I want to go over here to, let's see, I want to go to Matthew. We're going to come back to Jeremiah here in a second. But I want to go to Matthew 8 real quick. And then we'll come back to Jeremiah. Matthew 8. Now, Matthew 8, we're going to read 21 and 22. Okay? 21 says this. And another of the disciples said unto him, Lord, suffer me first to go and bury my father. But Jesus, or Yeshua, said unto him, follow me, and let the dead bury their dead. Let the spiritually dead bury the physically dead. Because you got to worry about yourself. You got to worry about your own salvation. You got to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. That comes first. You may not make it. Okay? Is what he's saying. You be careful with that. You may not make it. Let's go to Jeremiah 31. So we're going to do Jeremiah 31, 30, and we're going to do it 31, 31, right? And we're going to read to 33. Now watch this. Jeremiah 31, 30. It said, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah. Okay? With both. Again, remember, Israel, treacherous Judah, all that, his two brides right there. And then now he said, I'm going to make a new covenant with Israel and Judah, right? While they're still separate, but they'll come together at the end. Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was a what? Husband unto them, said the Lord. I was a husband unto them. And what is he going to do? But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, says the Lord. And I will put my laws in their heart and inward parts and write it in their heart. And I will be their God, and they shall be my people. He will be remarried to them once again. Did the laws go away, or were they just in your heart? So the laws are just done away with, or were they in your heart? Well, but that's what the no. The laws are not gone away. You can go to Hebrews if you want to. It's gonna say the same thing. So even in the New Testament, it's going to say the same because it's quoting this right here. You can go to Hebrews if you want. Okay, so we're going to go to Hosea 2. Hosea chapter 2, we're going to start at 14. Hosea 2, we're going to start at 14. Now watch this. This is what the Lord's going to do, okay? We've got to get into this remarriage. You saw the divorce. You saw they accepted it at first. Now we were just reading all the things that led up to the divorce. Now we're going to start getting into the remarriage part. Hosea 2, 14 says, therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her vineyards and then from thence and the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there and in the days of her youth and in the days when she came up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be at that day, says the Lord, that thou shalt call me Ishi. And shall call me no more Baali, right? By a false god, right? For I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name, right? You ain't gonna be calling me by no other name, period, right? This is what he's saying, okay? So you won't be calling me by anything else. Now I'm gonna go to 18 and 19. 18 says this, and in that day I will make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of the heavens and with the creeping things of the ground, and I will break the bow of the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely. Hallelujah. And what it says in 19, he says, and I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness and in judgment and in the loving kindness and in mercies. I'm going to betroth you. I'm going to remarry you when he comes back. Marry you again. Go to 23. And I will sow her unto me in the earth, and I will have mercy upon her that had not obtained mercy. And I will say to them which were not my people, thou art my people. And they shall say, thou art my God. Hallelujah. I know it was heavy. I know for a while it was heavy. But he says, I'm going to take you back. Now we got a few more verses. Okay, we have just a couple of more verses, and then we'll be done. Let's get these last 3 verses, right? Let's go to Matthew 15. Hallelujah, that he's going to take us back, right? Actually, I got to do Daniel 2:44. Go to Daniel first, and then we'll do Matthew 15. So Daniel chapter 2 and verse 44, and what does it say? And in the days of these kings shall the king of the God of heaven set up a kingdom which shall never be destroyed, and the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break into pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. So he's going to come and set up a kingdom for his bride. He's coming to set up a kingdom for his bride to dwell. He will be your God, and ye shall be his people. Okay? Now let's go to Matthew 15. Matthew 15. If anybody's getting something out of this, give me a hallelujah, 100 or something down below. So 15. 15, we got in verse chapter 15 and verse 24. 24 says, but he answered and said to them, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He came for his people. I'm coming to remarry Israel. I'm coming to remarry them, to reconcile them unto thy Yah. He's saying why he came. I know some people, but all the other people. No, first, everything's got to be done in order, to the Jew first, to Israel, to the Yahudim first, then to the Gentiles. First things first. We got to do it in order. It's not, let's just, no. Let's claim the bride. Don't worry. There will be guests at the wedding. There's only one bride, which is all of Israel. Okay, last verse. Isaiah 27. Let's go to Isaiah. Isaiah 27. Isaiah 27. Okay, we're going to read 12 and 13. What he says, it says, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall beat off the channel of the river unto the stream of Israel, and ye shall be gathered one by one, O ye children of Israel. And it shall come to pass in that day that the great trumpet shall be blown, and they shall come, which were ready to perish in the land of Syria, and the outcasts of the land of Egypt, and shall worship the Lord in the holy mount of Jerusalem. So even though we have a geographical location where it's all going to happen. So as I said in the beginning, you saw the wedding proposal. If you do all this, I'm going to be your God. You got blessing and cursings laid out before you. And by the time the smoke break was over, they were already committing spiritual adultery. They're already in somebody else's face, some other God's face already. And the Lord dealt with it for a while, dealt with it for a season. And he said, that's it, man. Hey, here's your certificate of divorce. I can't do this. I can't do this. And then, he loved Israel and Judah so much that he said, you know what? If you turn from your evil, wicked ways, if you turn from these ways, I may take you back. I will allure you and take care of you in the wilderness. I'll bring you back. I'll be your God. You'll be my people. I'll bring you back. I hope someone has gotten something out of this. We still have 2 more lessons. This is only the second part, 2 of 4. We got 2 more lessons. Let me encourage each and every one of you guys to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you've been blessed and edified and wish If you want to donate to the ministry, you can. Don't have to, but you can. And join me on the next one. Part 3. Next Shabbat. So until next time, search the scriptures and prove all things. Shalom, Israel.